That's Charlie giving you Monday's update. I hope you're very well. Back on around about the 10th of October, if you go back to the videos around that time, it would have been on a Monday video. I talked about a potential pattern that could have been setting up on the euro dollar. What I did is I put a trend line, put a trend line on. Be useful if I can. There we go. So what I did is I had this horizontal resistance line on. Okay, there we go. And now if I zoom in a little bit. And what I did on that video is I talked about the amount of times that the euro dollar had come up to this trend line. It hit it here, 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 and you see how many times it got rejected. When I see this type of pattern, when a price just keeps on getting rejected, and I talked about it on that video, and if you remember, literally I think it was that day that the euro dollar did come down, because I said, right, when it keeps on getting rejected like that, what normally happens is we'll at least want to take out this last lower high, and potentially even this one down here. Now what we can see is obviously has happened since then is we have indeed taken up both of those. But what I also said on that video is that when we come down, then quite often price will then want to ultimately come back up for that trend line and then break it. So I'm just posing this to you. Now I know we've got the Federal Open Market Committee this week on Wednesday, and the Fed are going to raise rates, but we don't know what they're going to say around that rate decision. As it currently stands, we're all sort of sitting here thinking, well, the euro should roll over, and fundamentally it should. This thing should roll over. But what I'll do is I'll just pose this with you. If the euro does not collapse on Wednesday, then and it holds up, then I do think there's that potential for a run back up to that 114 area, that 114 zone. So have a look out for that on Wednesday. See what happens after Wednesday evening. See where it closes and everything else, and then we'll see after that. And then in the weeks following that, if we don't sell off, then we'll see whether that euro dollar is ultimately going to come back up for this trend line again. I will leave that with you for now. Next week I'll look at our plans for the new year. Have a great week. I'll be back on Friday.